Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Franklin from the Money Code Academy, and I'm glad you are watching. Now, if this is your first time of coming to this channel, I want you to consider subscribing, because on this channel, I talk about personal finance, financial freedom, I talk about entrepreneurship, online business, and everything in between. So consider subscribing. Don't forget to click on the notification bell so that the next time I post a new video, you will be the first to receive it. And then at the end of the video, if you've gained value, make sure you give it a thumbs up so that YouTube will be able to get the video across to other people who may need it as well. Now, on this video, I'm going to be completing the mini series. This is volume 5, and this is the main video. Okay, the other ones I was just trying to lay a foundation as to the important things that you should know when it comes to this situation. You know, being in debt is one situation that can go a long way to demoralize you. It can go a long way to impact your mental health negatively. And so I needed to lay those foundations to help you get comfortable with this situation. Comfortable in the sense that no longer treat it the way you were treating it before. You now treat it just the same way you would treat any other issue. And this will help you to come out of it. So for this volume, I titled it Key Actions You Must Take to Come Out of Debt. This is the main video. This is the main thing that most people want to hear. So let's get right into it. The first action that you need to take if you're going to come out of debt, you need to make a decision. I know I've spoken about this again or previously, but I'm speaking about it again because it's so important. Make a decision that this is what you're going to do. It's of great importance. Now, beyond the decision, you need to know your total debt. You know, sometimes when people find themselves in debt like this, okay, please don't mind my pronunciation. Some people say it is debt, some people say it is debt, but whatever may be the case, you already know what I'm talking about. So please don't mind the pronunciation. Just listen to the content of what I'm trying to communicate, okay? So as I was saying, most people, when they find themselves in situations like these, they don't know the total number of debt that they have found themselves. So if you're going to come out of this, hear me, you need to maintain a journal. Take a journal and begin to jot down all the debt that you can remember. Isn't it amazing that there are people today who are in debt and they can't even remember what they have, accumulated as debt. Okay? So, you must know your total debt or debt. You must know your total debt, because this will help you to know exactly what you are trying to confront here. So let's take, for example, maybe you have like 3 credit cards. Take a pen and write down how much you owe. Write down how much you owe. If, for example, your total debt is $10,000, write it down. Credit card 1, this is the amount. Credit card 2, this is the amount. If maybe you're owing an individual, okay, you write out the individual's name and then put down the amount you are owing there. Okay. Now the next action that you need to take is that you need to also write out the timing that was given to you to make your payment. If, for example, it's a credit card debt, then there must be some days that it has been assigned for you to make your payment. Get to know the days for each of the debts that you found yourself. If it is a car loan or a mortgage, get to know the days when those payments has to be made. Why? So you can work with these dates. You need to get organized here. This is very important. If you're going to come out of this, you have to be detailed. You have to be deliberate. You have to be intentional. So you're going to write it out. For credit card 1, you're going to write out the date. Write out the payment date. Write out how much interest. Write out all the necessary things. So you begin to plan with this. Now, the next important action that you must take is that when you have written out the total number of debts that you have found yourself, you've written out the various days, the timings that are available for you to be able to pay this thing, then you should also now map out a strategy. Map out a strategy, because this is very important. How are you going to come out of this? So when I'm talking about strategy, I'm talking about a blueprint. I'm talking about a path that you're going to follow to be able to come out of this. So you map out a strategy for yourself. Okay? Map out a strategy. And you tell yourself, okay, between this time and this time, I'm going to pay off this, or I'm going to focus on this, or I'm going to clear out all the debt with the lower payment or with the lower interest. So you jot these things down. You need a journal for this. You have to get to work. You get the point now. So you journal these things, and then you map out your strategy. Now, the next action that needs to be taken, and which I also consider very important, is that you've got to get a channel of income if you are not working. Because like I said, one of the key reasons why people find themselves in debt is when they may not have any channel of income. So if that is your situation, then you've got to make a conscious decision to add to your channel of income. That should be the area where you put in your effort. You will channel your efforts to. Is that okay? You channel your efforts in the direction of getting a channel of income. Maybe you want to get a job, or you want to do a side gig. Whatever may be the case, there has to be something generating money for you, because if money is not coming in, then you cannot come out of it. Make no mistakes about it. You've got to look for ways in which you can generate a side income. Now, that is for those who don't have a job. But if you already have a job, but the situation here is that you are earning less, now what you should do is to look for how to add to that channel of income. It could be a part-time job. It could be a side gig, something that you can do after your main job, or something that you can do after your major business, something that you know that, okay, it will generate money for you, or something that you can do that will earn you some commissions here and there. Now, this is where you need to also do research. It's all part of coming out of this thing. These are actions you must take. Don't fold your hands. The mistake people make a lot of time is that they are so overwhelmed with the debt. They are so overwhelmed with the situation on ground to the point that they are paralyzed. The time that they are supposed to use in trying to look for a solution, they get paralyzed, they get overwhelmed, and then, they are hopeless. It shouldn't be that way. Take the initiative. There are so many videos online right now that teaches you what you should do, okay? How you can, earn extra income. Go through those videos. Look for the one that is convenient for you. Add to your income anyhow, no matter how little the money may be. Now, when I'm also talking about this, we should also consider your location, because a lot of times the location where you find yourself, or rather the nation or the city where you find yourself, goes a long way to determine what is possible in that place. So according to the location where you find yourself, that is how you will look for this side thing. But don't fold your hands. That's the point. Don't fold your hands. Look for ways to add to your channel of income. It may take you some time. It may not be an overnight thing. That's why I said that, if you're going to come out of debt, you need time. It does not happen overnight, trust me. You need time. You need time, brother. You need time, sister. Okay? So, get a channel of income, or add to your channel of income. And then when you start earning, you've got to make a budget. That's the next step, the next action that you need to take. For every money that comes to you, you need to have it in your budget. That, okay, so and so number of percentage will be going into payment of debt. Now, I'm going to be doing another mini course on budgeting. Okay, so watch out for that course, the mini course. It will go a very long way to help you when it comes to budgeting. Okay, so I want you to take advantage of this. You need to do a budget now that will help you to channel your finances to that direction of paying up your debt. Now, the next action that needs to be taken is start paying up. Don't wait any longer. As money is coming in, you have already analyzed whose debt with little interest, interest rates. So you start channeling your finances in those areas so that you can clear those little debts. And then when they are off the ground, it becomes easy for you to approach the other ones. So that's something that you need to do. Start paying up little by little. Start paying up. When you start paying up, it may not look as though you're making any impact. Sometimes when you put in some money in that debt, it swallows it up. It's as though nothing has been done. But guess what? It is a step forward. It is better than paying nothing at all. Is that okay? Now, the next action that needs to be taken is that you need to journal your payment. That's why I said you've got to maintain that book, that journal. Maintain that journal, because it will go a long way to help you. So you create a part where you are going to be journaling your payment. Write down the date, write down the time, write down the debt for which payment was made, and then write down how much was paid, and then write down the balance. Very important, because when you are journaling your payment, do you know what is happening? It encourages you. So when you are writing it down, you are seeing your progress, you are encouraged. And when you are encouraged, you receive strength, inner strength, to finish the race. So never forget this. It's an important action that needs to be taken. Journal those payments. Journal it. Write down the month, the date, the timing, how much was paid, every detail. Take your time on this. Remember, if these actions are not taken, you're not ready to come out of it. Trust me. When you have taken the pains to do all these, hear me, when you remember the pains it took you to do all these, it even helps you to stay away from debt at the end of the day. So this is something that you need to work on. Is that okay? Now, the next action that needs to be taken is that while you are pursuing paying up these debts, you've got to minimize your expenses. Minimize your expenses. You know those areas where you've been having excesses. In that journal also, try to see what you can do to limit some of the things. Go through your expenses. I've done a video also on how to manage your expense, okay? I'll put the link below so you can just go through it. Listen to that video so that you know how to manage your expenses. List out your total expenses for the month and then begin to knock off the things that you know that it's just extras. Knock them off, because for each of those things you are knocking off, it helps you to save more money to pay up whatever it is that you owe. So that's something that you need to work on. Okay, now the next action that needs to be taken is that you've got to negotiate with your creditors. Negotiate with them. Okay, negotiate with them. There are times when you may need to speak to the bank official, or you may need to speak to your, the person handling your case in that institution. Speak to them. There is a way in which they restructure your debt. There are times when maybe if you have a 3 credit card debt, they could work out something for you and put everything in one. Okay? And then they work it out in such a way that the payment becomes effortless. But whatever may be the case, learn to go back to your creditors and tell them that this is the situation on ground. You've got to meet them. Don't hide it from them. You need to share with someone. Let them know that you're going through some financial conditions right now. And then they'll work on it for you. In the financial world, they call it debt consolidation, something like that, where they will help you. So they'll put everything in one, and then you start paying. Although it is not in all situations that this is the right thing to do, but you must learn to go back to them. There are times when some of these banks, some of these creditors, they may be willing to, let go of certain amount of money, okay? You guys will reach an agreement, they'll let go of certain, they'll forgive you of some of the amount of money and ask you to pay some part. So that conversation between you and your creditor, it has to be done. It has to be done. Most times what people do is that they just disconnect from the creditors. No. And then they start running away. No, don't do that. Confront them. Keep communications line open. That's another action that needs to be taken. Keep communications line with your creditors open. Maintain communications with them. Let them know the situation on ground. Although there are times when some of them will tell you that they don't care. But still go ahead and do it. Let them know that you're facing an issue. Now, why this is so important is because it helps them to come up with, a better solution on what can be done. And then again, it also helps them to give you time to be able to make some of these payments. So never forget that, because it's very important. Okay? Learn to negotiate with your creditors. And most importantly, which is the final action that you should take, celebrate the milestone, celebrate your wins. If at the end of 1 month, you've been able to pay a certain amount of money, celebrate it. Celebrate it and, get yourself ready to do more. Encourage yourself. Encourage yourself. And then I must say this, while you are doing all this, do everything you can to stay away from getting into more debt. Because what most people do is that in order to pay off some debt, they go and take more credit card debt. In some situation, it could work, but that is like putting yourself in something you are trying to come out of. So a lot of times we always say big no when that moment where you are trying to take a loan to pay off a loan. It's not a good practice at all. So do everything you can to stay away. Now, I must say this. The process of coming out of debt is not an easy one. It's not going to be sweet. There are times when you will have to deprive yourself of certain addictions. You have to deprive yourself of certain gratifications. You have to deprive yourself of certain pleasure just so that you can keep some money to be able to fix what needs to be fixed. You will go through this, but hear me. Always remember that it's for a moment. It's not going to be forever. So if you have this attitude, it will go a long way to help you. So these actions must be taken if you truly want to come out of debt. Okay, so that will be all for this video. If you have a question, let me know. Let me know about your question. Drop me a comment or visit my website and send me an email. I'll be glad to revert back. And I must say this. If you have gotten value from this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Okay, share with your family members, those of them that you know they need to hear this word. Share it with them, and it will go a very long way to help them. And if you haven't subscribed to this video, don't wait any longer. After this mini course, I'm going to be coming up with a budgeting course also. There is so much to learn. Financial education is the way forward. When you are financially equipped and educated, hear me, there is no situation, there is no financial situation that you will not be able to come out of. And this channel was made for that purpose. So I want to encourage you to do the needful. Do the needful and it will help you a great deal. So until I speak to you again, keep cracking the money code.